Welcome to The Gaily Show, where we celebrate LGBTQ culture and entertainment in Minnesota, plus the latest in LGBTQ entertainment headlines just for you. I'm your host, JP Boghossian. The Bechdel Test 3.0 is currently playing at Huge Theater in Minneapolis. I met with Neco Pacheaco to get us all the details. Hello, Neco. Welcome to The Gaily Show. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about Bechdel Test 3.0?
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. My name is Neco Pacheaco. I use she, they, or Neco as my pronouns. And I grew up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and surrounding suburbs, and grew up in the theater scene here. And this show was kind of born out of a space, like many comedy spaces that are like very male, cis, white centric, right? And in a group that was really trying to do better, like do more, like so I could exist there, basically. Not just me, right? But me and my friends who didn't fit those identities and bodies. And so we had a space that was like for women and non-binary improvisers that we would meet. It was called No Boys Allowed. And it was this group that I was like, how do we make a space for women and non-binary people? Those are my identities, right? So I was like, I know I can support those. So how can I do that? We basically would talk about like, yeah, what's it like to not be a dude, like a cis dude in improv? And one of the things we found was like oftentimes women or non-binary people in scenes, but specifically women for this topic, were getting in conflict with each other in scenes. So maybe they'd pass the Bechdel test, the original test, which is like two women talking about something other than a man. Very low bar, right? But they just fight with each other the whole time. And that didn't feel good either, right?
Yeah,
like that didn't feel feminist or productive or fun. So we then were like, okay, how do we do more? And it kind of came up with this show and built out some additional rules to the Bechdel test, which were, expanding that gender definition to women and really ultimately non-men, because gender's really too complicated to simplify and list out all the genders that fit there, right? So, and then we also added the caveat that they couldn't be in conflict and they'd be named, which was a later rule to the Bechdel test census.
Wonderful. And it is playing at the Huge Theater on Saturdays, correct?
Yeah, Saturdays at 10 p.m. through December. Yeah, through the rest of the month.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Neco, for coming to The Gaily Show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Once again, for more information on Bechdel Test 3.0 and to buy tickets, go to hugetheater.com. This Monday, the Tony Award-winning musical adaptation of one of the most banned books in the U.S. gets its silver screen debut. The Color Purple opens nationwide December 25th, starring Fantasia Barrino, Taraji P. Henson, and Coleman Domingo. And it must be Christmas because we get to see Coleman Domingo again on screen after his dynamo performance as Bayard Rustin earlier this year. Check it out on Netflix. In interviews, screenwriter Marcus Gardley has said the love story between Celie and Suge will be out front, if you will, which was not the case in the 1985 film. And if you like, you can listen to the album Before You Go, Tony Award-winning album. It's streaming everywhere you listen to your music. Plus, we have a special episode of This Queer Book Saved My Life featuring the 7th Poet Laureate of Portland, Maine, Maya Williams. While so-called parents' rights groups are trying again to ban The Color Purple from schools, Maya tells us how she first read it in the 8th grade and how it transformed her life then and throughout her life. Listen to the episode wherever you stream your podcast or at thisqueerbook.com. But for now, we have a short episode this week. That is our show for the holiday weekend. Happy holidays to you all. Our podcasts are executive produced by Jim Pounds, creative and accounting support provided by Gordy Erickson, production, distribution, and marketing support provided by Brett Johnson, Chad Larson, Laura Hedlund, and Jennifer Ogren from AM 950. Our websites are thisqueerbook.com and am950radio.com. You can email us at gailyshow, that's Gaily, show at thisqueerbook.com. And until our next episode, see you queers and allies in the bookstores.